And Democrats facing off last night in a lengthy debate at Texas Southern University. A feisty healthcare exchange kicked off the third Democratic presidential debate. Closer to home, Arkansas Lieutenant Governor Tim Griffin plans to run for governor in 2022, and it makes him the first candidate to announce a bid for the state's top office. First, we'd like to say good morning to you. So great to have you with us on this Thursday morning. Thanks for being here. I'm Laura Simon.
And I'm Ruben Diaz, and my chair is entirely too high. I feel like Andre the Giant up here.
If only people could see us 30 seconds before the show starts. It's kind of hilarious.
No idea.
Breaking overnight, one person is dead after a plane crash in rural Washington County.
The sheriff says once the inmates were able to get out of their jail cell, they were able to get into this detention facility office, push a button, come out this door into the lobby and out the front door of the building.
But Reed did not make it. His family tells us they're heartbroken, especially for his children ages 16 and 11. Today's Health Watch kids are back in school, most of them at least, and pens and pencils aren't the only thing they're going to be sharing. Health experts are reminding parents to promote healthy habits like sanitizing school supplies regularly. Monty Python may have been onto something with their hit song, Always Look on the Bright Side of Life. A new study finds people with the highest levels of optimism had up to a 15% longer lifespan compared to pessimists. The highest scoring positive thinkers also had the best odds of living to the age of 85 or older.
But if I live to be 85, I will be a grumpy, mean, like sarcastic old man for sure.
I could see that.
Yeah, like
You're about halfway there, aren't you?
yes, in so many ways.
I was thinking that. I wasn't going to say it, and I'm glad you did.
What's on your workout list? You ran 4 miles the other day.
I
What were you
did.
listening to? Podcasts, I guess?
No, I ran with a group of women from my yoga class, and so we listened to each other talk. I mean, that's the truth of the matter. But I will say, hey, come back. The only way to access Jamie Patterson's farmland right now is by boat. Nearly 1,500 acres are under this water. To put that in perspective for you, that's about 1,000 football fields. His crops like corn and soybeans are gone.
Mother Nature is in charge. You know, people say, so it's great you get to be your own boss. Well, that's the furthest thing from the truth. I do what the weather allows.
Patterson's land runs along the Arkansas River north of Lavaca, so he's dealt with flooding before, but not like this.
As it was coming up, I was heartbroken.
The river stands nearly 20 feet above flood stage. This is the first time the river has ever been this high, ever. The disaster is also affecting people's livelihood in Oklahoma. Justin Sebo is a fourth-generation farmer in Spiro.
Our wheat harvest was just a couple weeks away. It's totally destroyed. The soybeans that we had planted, the corn we had planted is totally destroyed.
What was your reaction when you saw the flooding this time around?
It's a gut punch. I mean, it's just like somebody hits you right in the stomach. You just don't know what to do.
Sebo says he'll make next to nothing this year and still has to pay 50 employees.
We've lost our businesses for the year for sure. Some of them may have lost their business forever.
Patterson is still totaling the damage.
As it sits, I have 500 acres worth of seed in my barn up there. So we got some time. Maybe if the water goes down, we can go back and replant and maybe salvage some of the year.
Sebo and Patterson have been farming for decades. They say historic flooding won't stop them from believing brighter days are ahead.
It is what it is. You can get heartbroken over it, be real sad, or you can just kind of keep your chin up and go on.
The farmer's a resilient person. It takes that type of person to do this work.
So both those farmers are hopeful that the water will go down soon enough to where they can actually plant soybeans before July, maybe the first 2 weeks into July. But we are definitely thinking of all the farmers this morning.
Son of Sam, the .44 caliber killer. These headlines spread widespread terror for a year in New York City. Police looked at Bob McGuire as a suspect. In fact, McGuire was almost a victim. The first murder happened in July 1976.
Most of the other shootings occurred like in little Lover's Lane areas that had easy access to highways and parkways.
McGuire's chilling encounter happened when he took his girlfriend to a Lover's Lane in Queens.
And he parked like 2 spots over from us. And she started getting nervous, saying that, what's this guy doing here by himself?
the son of Sam tipped off a newspaper reporter to his serial shootings. The bizarre case became one of the largest manhunts in history.
At the same time, police released this composite sketch describing the suspect as a man with dark hair anywhere between 5'8" and 6'2".
My features were very similar. I had the same jet black hair.
Police noticed the similarities too.
And I happened to look up one time and I see a cop car coming diagonally across the street right at me. I said, what the heck's going on?
They took McGuire in for questioning, but detectives continued following him after his release.
It scared the hell out of me.
A parking ticket near the final murder led investigators to the real son of Sam, 24-year-old David Berkowitz.
Every suspect that they had under surveillance was cleared. And I remember when I heard that is when I looked at her and I said, thank God.
As McGuire watched the news, his experience came full circle.
They're showing the car. They're showing his car. They're examining the car. And I'm looking at, that's the car we saw in Forest Park.
Berkowitz killed 6 people and injured 7 others. He's been incarcerated since his arrest. All these decades later, McGuire can't get over the irony.
Here I was one of the suspects, and as it turned out, I was almost one of the earlier victims.
Today, McGuire lives a quieter life in Northwest Arkansas. Covering news where you live, Laura Simon, 5 News.